Hey, it's Vinny here. This was originally supposed to be the first ever commentary video I posted on this channel. I even had like most of it finished on my phone, but I couldn't really finish it because my phone got stolen, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get it back. Also, I'm currently working on a video that doesn't have to do with screaming at idiots on the internet, and I think it's gonna be really cool. So let me know if you want to see that. Also, I got a new microphone, so hopefully you can actually hear me this time. So, we all know what Undertale is, right? And by extension, we all know what AUs are, right? And, I mean, if you know who I am, you definitely know what AUs are. If you don't know who I am, bonjour, je m'appelle Vincent, also known as Psycho Vincent on my main channel. And this guy right here is Father Ashton. He's also an art commentary YouTuber, but he's not very good at it. 2 years ago, he made a video on Streamline Workshop's video on Blog the Great Rouge. If you don't know who Blog the Great Rouge is, remember those Sans AU comics, specifically the PJ's Daycare one? Yeah, she made those, and they were very gross. Streamline made a video highlighting that grossness and explaining why it's gross, and Father Ashton had a problem with that.
Before we begin, if you have a free moment, please consider subscribing to this channel, where I will talk about various kinds of content, and eventually take part in all sorts of other wonderful things to keep that bustling, cute little squishy mind of yours busy, my friend. Additionally, I will do a voice reveal in due time. All good things come in time, and subscribers, my dear. Now, onwards. Here we go again. I see the same issue, time in and time out, of people attacking artists for once drawing things that they find gross or unacceptable.
Maybe because said artist is drawing CP.
My dears, I have two requests for you. One is to please share this video
Don't share this video
anywhere you see people criticizing cheese pizza art, or any kind of art that is usually viewed as disgusting. You may link it under other videos on this topic, so that more understanding can be spread to all sides of this argument. This video is likely to get bunked by the system, so the only way it can reach anyone is by you doing your part in spreading it, even if only just to disagree with it. Of course, I disagree with this kind of art. However,
I don't like CP, but, like seriously, if anyone says I don't like insert bad thing here, but it's never a good sign.
we need to be aware of some things in this situation. And before I officially begin this rant, I'm going to start by directly speaking to Streamline Workshop. Stream, in your video, at exactly 27:29, you claim the artwork is cheese pizza. If it is, then you have spread cheese pizza material by including screenshots of the artwork in your video.
You do realize that claiming someone drew CP is a very serious claim, right? You don't just get to say, hey guys, this guy drew CP, but I'm not going to provide any evidence for it. Like, what did you want her to do? Leave a link to the art in the description for potential minors to see? Or just leave it in a Google Doc uncensored for everyone and their grandma to look at? Like, no, that's stupid, that's dumb.
Even if it's heavily clipped.
Yeah. Again, what did you want her to do? Did you want her to have the whole thing uncensored on screen like, here you go, enjoy? Like, bro, you're just nitpicking at this point.
Because the clipping themselves still display material that is directly meant to sexually stimulate people. So, if you genuinely believe the material is exploitation, you must also remove this material from your video, thank you. More thought should go into the action of ranting about this kind of material. So
more thought should have gone into making this video.
the comics do feature characters entering incestuous relationships and having close cuddles with adults, all kinds of paraphilic things with cheese. Do I personally like this kind of art? No, not at all. When I was younger, I found it constantly online, because at the time, online security for minors wasn't really a thing, and it wasn't a good time. I don't believe any of this art should be publicly visible.
But it was, and that's what Streamline was calling out in her video.
This should be a given. Lewd content that people are not looking for should not be accessible, especially content that could be dangerous to minors. Now that I made that point, we all know Blog's art was fully public to the internet. But I would like you to look at the date of these posts. This all happened over 5 years ago. That was PewDiePie Plays Corpse Party days. I looked through their entire Twitter, and they have not posted anything even remotely similar to their old content in over 4 years.
I know this art is bad, but it was a long time ago and they don't do it anymore. Okay? They still drew it. They still made it public for everyone to see. Look, I believe everyone deserves a second chance. People do dumb and stupid things, especially when they're young. I mean, you should have seen the things I said in my old commentary videos when I was 12. But people grow and change and realize that, yeah, that was stupid. I shouldn't have said that. However, there are some things I believe should not be forgiven just because it was a long time ago. Such as grooming, murder, shooting up a school, harassing somebody, drawing CP, romanticizing teacher-student relationships, romanticizing grooming, romanticizing SA, and drawing just so much goddamn rape. I don't mean like in the context of trying to tell a story, maybe trying to show that rape is a big no-no. I mean drawing for sexual gratification, i.e. romanticizing it. Can you guess which of the several things I listed were things that Blog the Great Rouge did?
2 years ago, they also made a post explaining how they do not want any children seeing their NSFW art. 4 years ago, almost immediately after making their art, they stopped. So, this took place in the early days of the Undertale fandom, around 2015. This next part is critical. To clarify, at that time, tagging wasn't such a big thing. There was a massive amount of fanfics depicting everything similar to what Blog was drawing.
Yeah, I know I said the N-word, but everyone else was doing it, so... Bro, just because everyone else was doing it doesn't suddenly make it okay. She still drew CP. It's still gross. Just because it was normalized back then doesn't mean we should just move on and forget about it. If we do that, then it's just gonna happen again.
I remember explicit fanfics, non-con, minor to adult non-con, adult to minor non-con, etc. All untagged, or untagged for the most part. Very easily searchable. It just wasn't common for people to actively ensure that minors aren't looking at their inappropriate content. Perhaps most of you are very young, and don't remember how it was only 5 years ago or so, but the internet was far wilder. It was far more normal to do these things.
I know what else was normal back then? Saying slurs, bullying children, doesn't make it okay.
If you're into them. The context of the situation is critical to understand why this was happening, and why this person drew things like this.
The context is that Blog is an icky gross weirdo. Hey, hi, it's Editing Vinny here again. I took a break from editing this video because my iPad was about to die, and, Mushroom Girl responded. Holy frick, when I upload this video, I'm gonna watch this video and I'm gonna make a response, cause holy hell. Oh my god. After I make this second video of Mushroom Girl, I'm not gonna make another one though. I have a 2 video per person clause on this channel, cause unlike Mushroom Girl, I have things to do. This video's 1 hour too, holy hell. Anyways, back to the video.
Most people assumed that parents had a full grasp on everything their children were doing. It was less common for children to have access to multiple devices at that time, where they can use Tumblr and anything else without being observed. On top of that, the repercussions of minors seeing this content also wasn't a big deal, at least as far as I can remember from those days. Worst of all, most people assume that children can grasp the distinction between fantasy and reality, and fully believe that children seeing their fetishes had no real direct consequence, because it was believed that fantasy art simply doesn't impact people.
Which is why what Blog drew wasn't okay, because it was impacting literal children who thought this stuff was okay. Literally in your comment section, someone legit told you that what Blog drew normalized CSA to them, and their abuser used it to manipulate them.
I respect that Blog the Great Rouge doesn't draw that stuff anymore. But when I was 15, it didn't help with my normalization to CSA, and my abuser used it as a "I want to do this to you" example. I'm not putting any blame on Rouge for what happened to me, but people have been impacted by this stuff. People have been normalized with CSA and abusive relationships with this stuff, like myself. Not everyone is going to forgive Rouge. People are going to get trauma responses from Rouge and their art. I cannot bring myself to forgive them, sadly. I'm sorry.
I got bitches all on my dick every day, sucking on my balls, licking on my...
I'm not really discussing what they drew, but how it affected me being 12 at the time of watching dubs of that content by Undertale Peasant. So to start, the main ones I watched were the daycare one and the one with Fresh and Paperjam, where Jam is younger and Fresh is seemingly an adult. I didn't have any social media at the time and didn't have the attention span to figure out how to use Tumblr, so I never followed Thegratrouch or saw the other problematic comics. The topics of pedophilia never crossed my mind as being bad when I watched these videos as a kid.
Which is why it needed to be called out. So that's the end of the video, and I gotta say, it was bad. Mainly just the first part of the video, the rest of it was just Ashton rambling about nothing. Overall, this video was not needed at all, and I think it should be taken down. I know it wasn't intentional, at least I hope it wasn't, dear God, but this video is presenting the idea that, oh yeah, this thing was bad, but it was a long time ago, so we should just shut up and forget about it, which, considering the stuff blogged you and the impact it had on people, is very dangerous. Stuff like this needs to be called out so kids who don't know any better can learn that this stuff is not okay and should not be normalized. Calling this stuff out and explaining why it's not okay can help potential CSA or grooming victims realize that they're being abused. Also, you can't just claim someone is drawing CP without showing evidence for it. That's stupid and you should be ashamed for even suggesting someone do that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you liked it and want to see more of this content, then subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel monetized so I can be like every other slop channel on YouTube. And while you're doing that, consider subscribing to my main channel. I post more consistently on there, and I'm currently working on an animation that's going to be really good. Also, check out my Unveil page where you can find all my OCs and characters that you can buy. Look at these insanely low prices. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. See you whenever I upload, I guess.